Yo, what's happening? Welcome to another episode of the joeZONE podcast. Today I have with me the young guns of comedy, I've called them so far. I don't know if that name is suitable for you guys, but please welcome Callum, Hitchcock and Zachary, Easu.
What's up?
Am I pronouncing your surname right?
Yeah,
Easu.
Yeah.
Okay,
A
yeah.
lot of like white people, it's normally like Easu,
Easu.
I become like Japanese to these guys, so.
Okay, yeah. So like I said, you guys are the young guns of comedy because you guys started when did you guys start comedy? When did you start, Zach?
My first time was in 2019.
Okay, so that was pre-COVID.
Yeah, I was like, it was in like May. And then I thought, okay, good shot. Because it was my first year at uni also.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, cool, good shot. 2020 is going to be the time. And then, wah.
Wow. Were you still in uni while you were doing, during COVID?
Yeah.
So how did you do your courses and stuff like that?
So it was weird because like we acting. So we need to be like with each other. And it was like one of the worst things trying to like do a movement class and a voice class over Zoom.
So what is your course? Let us start there.
So I studied theatre and performance at UCT, specializing in acting.
Okay, so how do you study that during COVID when you must isolate? Like how do you study theatre acting? Huh?
That was the thing.
And it's like if you study that, is there going to be a future for theatre acting at that time?
Well, hopefully no more diseases that kill people start.
But how was that experience?
It was like, honestly, it wasn't great. So UCT, what they did is at the end of 2020, they started to kind of open again.
Yeah.
And we were like some of the first people to go back or to get to go back because we were contact-based.
You had
degrees. So like us and the doctors basically were the only guys that got to go to university in 2020. Yeah. 2021, but like it was horrible.
Like acting, is that like an essential worker somehow? Like, huh?
Somehow, yeah. Look, they're paying us, or my parents, not me. My parents paid like a lot of money, so they were like, "Look, you're gonna go to that fucking.
You're gonna finish that course now. Whether there is a theatre or not, you're gonna finish that course, huh?"
But luckily it got better. Now I have my degree, so away.
Okay, so 4 years later, you got the
4
degree.
years later, yeah.
Yeah, and Callum, you over there? You from where are you from, my friend?
I'm from the Eastern Cape.
From the Eastern Cape. And when did you come to Cape Town?
A year ago, actually, 1st of April last year.
Okay, so you came here post-COVID.
Yes, post-COVID.
What brought you to the Cape?
I was desperate to. I mean, I had done a little bit of comedy in Gqeberha, PE.
See that liquor.
You know how it is.
You got that click in.
Oh yeah.
I was showing off. I'd done it a few times in PE, but PE was like, cool, you can do a gig every 3, 4, 6 months maybe. Mm-hmm. And then also my now fiance, my girlfriend at the time, we came here in December before we moved here to visit her family, and we were like, wow, it'd be cool if we lived here. And then pretty much from that point forward, I started applying for jobs in Cape Town. We moved here in April.
Oh, so you got the job here in Cape Town and you moved here.
Yeah.
And then your comedy career started, like.
Yeah.
What was your first gig in Cape Town, if I can may ask?
First gig in Cape Town was Tiger's Milk Long Street.
Okay, I heard about that gig. I haven't experienced it, but what was it like?
They've got one of those spotlights where you just like can't see when it's in your face, and also you're just fighting with waiters,
because the crowd is like they just come in there for food. They're not coming there for comedy.
The crowd is very much being subjected to comedy.
That's a good way of putting it.
They're just trying to get burgers, and then it's us like making dick jokes.
Now they must listen to you, like Callum, Hitchcock, do comedy for the first time.
They're like, why is there a guy over there, and why is he still speaking? Please stop, sir. Yeah.
So that was your first experience. When did you have a liquor experience in comedy? Like,
I've had lots. Like going to.
But after that, when was your first liquor one? Like, what was your first liquor spot?
I think maybe a week or two after that was the first time I went to Armchair.
Okay, nice.
And that was like amazing. Like seeing every Wednesday comedy at Armchair, like painted on the wall, like not even in chalk, like painted on the wall permanently. There's comedy here every Wednesday. That was like magical for me. That was like, oh my word. Okay, that's
the Mecca.
That's why we moved here. Yeah,
I've arrived.
Yeah, that was really magical. And and then yeah, just like doing all the spots, the open mic spots, like Rascals and stuff. Like since then has been, yeah, like to be able to conceivably do comedy every night of the week is like so amazing to me.
Yeah.
Having
You got a bit of a. I've seen you perform once, and I don't know if it like. I enjoyed your set, by the way. I saw we performed together at
You
Dorp.
were horrible, Callum. You suck.
No, but he's got a little bit of a mean. You got a little bit of a mean streak, or am I mistaken?
I don't think so. I think that was just because we were in
in a mean
Stanley.
place.
Yeah. Generally, I mean, I think my thing is like being likable. Generally,
okay.
I'm a lot more affable than I am when I'm in Stellenbosch.
Okay.
I went with the land reform jokes. I was like, I've made a mistake here. I'm going to go on the offensive. I haven't read The Room, as is my duty as a comedian.
But sometimes it's good to push the envelope, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like try that sort of thing. Like I mean, as an artist, like recently in my day job or in my career, I'm a graphic designer, but I get to chat to other artists because they create like these real sculptures, and I just market these sculptures. But when you chat to them, and they like the thing is about I think every artist wants to do something like do something out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? Not do the mundane thing. And when you do why I liked your set was because you were doing something different. You know what I mean? Okay, so that people didn't enjoy it there. But me as a fellow artist, like, check it, that shit. This is like amusing, amazing, like, you know what I mean? And I enjoyed your set. I thought the jokes was funny. I was like, these people just not getting it. You know what I mean? And like, to me, that was what was going down. I was like, this is a brilliant comedian doing a liquor set, and like, they're not getting it. And like me and you getting it because you're having fun, or I don't know if you did have fun, but I'm having fun watching you. And even the process of you dying and then like saying,
I was quite surprised.
Yeah, but you just went with it, like, and sometimes people will die and it'll be cringy.
Yeah.
But you died and you were like, whatever. I'm sort of going with it, the flow.
Yeah, there's definitely,
but like,
definitely nothing worse than like thinking you did well and then someone
then
being
that
like,
was
that's tough.
Yeah.
Like I mean, the reason why we do comedy is because we're like aware and self-aware. So yeah, I think it is cool to be like,
I think I
know I'm dying here.
I think
we can all see that.
I'm gonna be super honest. I think to the tail end of my comedy career that I was doing, I wasn't super honest with myself. Like I was like not doing well, and I'm like telling myself, "No, I did good. I did really good." And then I like sort of like pat myself on the back, but nah, it wasn't that good. This shit. That's why I'm not doing it that much anymore. I would like to get back out there. Zach.
Yeah.
Tell me about your first time on stage. When was your first time on stage?
My first time was in OBS, in that road. It was Salah's gig once he ran it was like an OBS cafe.
Oh yeah.
Very gratefully, I had like a lot of support. Like I had like friends, family come. So even if I did horribly,
Friends and family.
Yeah, man.
Your first time.
My first time. They were like they basically were the crowd.
Nice.
So you told everybody, listen here, I'm gonna do comedy for my first time. Come watch me.
No.
Okay. Tell me what happened.
I posted the thing on my status, and it's like cool. And then I told like my immediate, like my close
If
friends.
you post something on your status, that's telling everybody.
Yeah, but I wasn't like messaging them like, please come to my first time doing comedy. Like if they wanted to come, quite.
Okay.
You know? And then, the jokes I did, I guess they were okay. But I also don't know because, like I said, all my friends and family were there. So they were going to laugh either way. But so I think that my first time wasn't completely cack. But then my first like lekker time was at Comedy on Brie. I think I don't know who hosted it. It was Open Sesame. Sorry, no, I lie. Open Sesame. It was Open Sesame.
Open Sesame, we said.
It's like
next to Tiger's Milk
like
on
just
Street,
around the corner.
Okay.
It's called like a Wave Cafe or
Something like
now,
that,
yeah.
no.
Or the
Okay.
Wave Theatre.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, where they
I
had
know.
the-
Okay, so that was Mario's gig. Is that more, what at that time?
Definitely at one point.
At one point, but I don't know whose gig it was when I did it. But yeah, that was the first time I was like, okay, no, this is going well. None of my friends and family were there.
Yeah,
there's something there.
to it.
Yeah.
Something to it. So you're acting.
Yeah.
Does the one help the other, or do you feed the feed of each other, or how does it work?
I mean, I would say a lot of like Tula. I want to say RIP is not here. We're missing one of our guys.
Or something happened to him. I don't know what happened to him.
But
He's on a trip to the moon or something. I don't know.
But you would always tell me like, you can like you see like I have like a stage presence that like other comics sometimes struggle with, and it says I look very comfortable on stage, and I am comfortable on stage because I'm used to being on a stage. So yeah, it's my first step was be a comedian. Like even in high school, I was like, be a comedian, but you have brown parents, so you need to study something. You can't just okay.
Oh, so you study something that can get you into comedy.
So I was like, okay,
Dave Chappelle style.
If I want to pursue comedy, what is kind of can marry that? What degree? So I was like, okay, acting, and then I was like, oh, coincidentally, I fell in love with acting also. I was like, okay, this thing is also cool. So yeah, that was kind of my journey.
Do you write a lot?
I do try, yeah.
Try like scripts and shit like that, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then do you write skits like or something like that? You try that?
Yeah. It's actually mostly skits that I try to turn into scripts that fail.
And do you have a TikTok presence?
I had one in COVID, yeah.
But you don't have one now.
I mean, I have the account there.
Isn't like a TikTok presence and like a sort of theater thing?
Yeah.
And where we going to?
Okay, but listen.
Almost compulsory.
Isn't it all somehow combined? Because that TikTokers they doing somewhat of theatrical performances, the way they get their message across.
But then like as an actor, right? And this is like some of the things.
Here we go.
It's like, it's not even a thing of like, oh, I'm an actor and I studied this thing. But it's just like, if you think to yourself, like, these guys, it's having fun because you're having fun making that content. And then these guys are making or coining it, like getting brand deals and stuff. And then here you are with your UCT degree, unemployed and poor. And you're just like, oh, I could have actually just gotten a degree that could have gotten me a job.
But I think you're missing the point there. I think you can still take the one and do it. Get into that TikTok world and you need to just find that presence.
Yeah, and find that niche, which I think is also important because like some people just try to do like all kinds of things. Like you get those guys who are like, okay, I'm just gonna make an example like Owens who are like, okay, I talk about relationships and that's my like thing on TikTok. I make dance videos, that's like my thing on TikTok. I do funny things, that's like my thing on TikTok. And then you get Owens who are like, I'm gonna do all of it. And all of it's going to be my thing.
Yeah, and a lot of people, because of the way TikTok works is with the algorithm, like people just do what's trending. So it's not, here's my original thought that I'm presenting to the world. It's, here's this thing that's trending. I'll just copy it. And then we've spoken about it a lot amongst the like open mic guys. Like we know that we like have to be on TikTok for comedy now, but like I know it's helpful for acting and like short filmmakers and stuff. You have to be on TikTok, but that's just the like canvas where the medium shouldn't change, like the art shouldn't change.
Yeah.
The medium that it's expressed through, the art will live forever, but the medium that it's expressed through won't necessarily. Yeah. Like paint sometimes lasts longer than the canvas that it's painted on. And people have to remove paint from a canvas and like restore it. And that's just the medium. But the art is still beautiful, whatever kind of canvas it's on.
It's on, in
inverted commas.
Yeah, I think that TikTok, podcasting, comedy, all of this that things that you can create, I think this is not the final. I mean, like if you look at it like 10 years ago, podcasting and doing this was not a thing.
Yeah.
and there's different styles of podcasting. Like you guys have been on a comedy intensive podcast, the Foof guys. I mean, you just ripping jokes all the time. Whereas here, I try to get to know you, see how a creative mind works.
Yeah,
That is what I'm trying to do. So there's different things that we all trying to do, but this is not the final form of creativity. I mean, maybe like short clips. We take short clips from here and we put it on TikTok. Then that creates something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're doing long form, yeah, but we can take that long form and cut it into short form content.
Yeah, but even
you know?
with like we were chatting with like our show that we're taking to the National Arts Fest about like starting to record our sets and even starting our own little
You
video.
taking a show to the National
Yeah,
Arts Fest?
man.
Which show?
One of each,
So
baby.
the one of
Okay,
each,
so tell me about this one of each show. So you guys are yourself, the two of you, and Tula Sizwe. So you form the three amigos. What is the name of your
one of each.
One of each. Okay,
Yeah.
one of each is meaning, yeah.
Well, we can say colored guy, white guy, black guy.
That was the reason we decided to do it was because I think Tula came to both of us and he said, hey, I like both of your guys' style. I think we have a similar sort of writing style without being too similar. And I think maybe we should try do a 3-man show. We all agreed a nice format for like the audience. It's 20 minutes and then the host. So there's a bit of a concentration break and then 20 minutes and then the host and then the final 20 minutes. So
who's the host?
Well, it's different every
The-
time.
the-
So
host-
you swap out the host
Yeah,
and then headliner. Okay, that's like
yeah. So we have an opener and a host usually. We've done the show like four
times
times now.
the three of you guys have done the show 4 times. Nice, man.
Yeah. And it took us a while to come up with a name. After the first time we did it, we landed on.
So when did you guys do it the first time?
December last year
How was that?
Outlaw, yeah.
at the Outlaw Theatre Company.
That was nice.
Is it the Outdoor Theatre Company? Yo, so you guys got a following or something like that, huh?
I don't know about that. I cashed
Callum's
in.
colleagues.
Yeah, I cashed in all the people from work who'd been
Yeah.
threatening. We must come to a show, Callum. I went, okay, well,
Here's the show.
here's the show to come to if you're going to
Okay,
come to
liquor.
one. And I was, my tone was quite pointed. I was like, okay, well,
Here's
it's
the
time now.
show.
Let's go.
You
This
keep
is the
saying.
you guys keep saying this is the show. So yeah, we sold like 30 tickets, which was amazing.
Nice.
The whole idea behind doing the show now really is not like whatever to make a whole bunch of money and sell tickets. What we want to do is work on the show so that by the time we get to Arts Fest in June, which is a little over a month away, we've done the show a few times. We've gotten feedback, and it's a polished piece of work.
Yeah.
As a whole.
After 4 shows is a polished fish.
Well, no,
No.
or at least more polished than it would be if we arrived at Arts Fest on the 27th and did
Nothing.
did that for the
Yeah.
first time.
Sure.
And it's like, okay, here's the 3 of us now. We're doing the show. So yeah, we'll by the time we go there, we'll have done it 8
8 times.
times.
7, 8 times, yeah.
And you guys are obviously working on your craft on your side as well. Doing open mics,
Yeah,
nights and stuff like that.
absolutely, yeah.
Obviously.
Yes, no, yeah, absolutely. But I know between the 3 of us, we've sort of all said, cool, it's time to ramp it up. Try get as many
I like
spots.
the guys your guys' attitude. Some people would say, the naysayers would say it's ambitious. What do you say to that, to people that would say, yeah, it's you guys are only like a year into comedy and you want to have a 1-man show or 3-man show? Like,
Look, I think a lot of credit must go to Tula. Like he's someone who's like very like he's just like, let me try, let me just ask people and see what. And most of the time he gets it right. Like
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
So I think with that in mind, it's just like, hey man, if you're gonna fail, like fail gloriously.
Yeah, we respect the craft and
Yeah.
like there's definitely no sort of sense of entitlement on our behalf. And we are also, all 3 of us, as with most people, really fighting with imposter syndrome while we're doing it.
Sure.
We're like, okay, cool. I guess we're doing the Arts Fest show. Like, little old us. Okay.
So how did you get onto? Mustn't you apply to get into
Yeah,
Arts
so
Fest?
we applied. We shot our shot and we got in.
No, how come some people get denied and other people's get?
That's Ozfest business.
Yeah, I think
Really?
I think it's a case of, you know, they're trying to curate something. So I went last year.
Okay.
And
So they almost like maybe know that you've done something.
Yeah.
I think that may have had something to do with it.
Sure.
I think that helped, but every
We
year
also
sorry.
they have like a little program that's like, will you help with this? Which is
Yeah.
like going to the high schools and stuff to mentor kids, and will you help with this? And we were like, yes, we'll do all of that. Just give us a show, please. So that may have counted in our favor. Yeah. We
Yeah, and
we
I
just shot
think-
our shot and applied.
Just regarding like who they choose and stuff. Like every year, Artsfest kind of goes with almost like a little theme.
A theme.
Yeah, where the shows kind of not necessarily to say all the shows are linked, but it's just like
There's a bit of a golden.
there's a bit of a
thread,
golden thread through
So
all
what's
of
the
it.
theme for this year?
I have no clue.
Oh, okay. So
Oh, no
so
clue.
just going out there.
think
When
it's
is the
like a
Arts
reveal
Festival
doll.
in July? When?
End of June, beginning of July. Yeah.
End of June, beginning of July.
22nd of June to the 2nd of July, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Nice, man. It's gonna be an awesome experience.
Yeah, for
where,
sure.
like when you go out there. Have you been there before?
I've been there with my school. I played saxophone at high school, and I went to there's the national schools jazz festival that happens at the
festival, yeah.
girls' school there.
Yeah.
So I've been at the fest like a few times. It's a
So
liquor
you
experience.
into jazz?
Well, yeah. Well, yes. I play a bit of piano too.
Do you like jazz?
You like jazz?
You can play instruments. That's good, man.
Yeah, man.
You're quite a creative guy, like. And you would never try to. That one time, that one bra, remember in that competition, the Jive Comedy Festival, he like bring like his guitar, like tarang. And then, you know what? No, I'm not saying it's because of him that I never made it through. But I mean, how do you follow a bra on the guitar? Man? You know what I mean? He
That's a
got the
tough
guitar
follow.
and jokes, and I only got jokes. Like, so that was like,
Yeah.
it's a bit it's unfair, man. Huh?
I don't think that's like my style of comedy.
A saxophone, bro.
Yeah.
A saxophone and jokes.
Hey guys, let me play this thing.
You
like-
can- maybe
Things
you
that
can-
shouldn't have saxophone solos on them. You
Yeah.
can just be like, Amazing Grace. Here's the saxophone solo.
Yeah.
So that bra, so you're from America, man. Everybody had selfies with him.
Craig Robinson.
Craig
yeah.
Robinson.
Yeah. So did you see his
Me
show?
included. I saw
Oh,
him,
you were also one of them.
I saw him do like 5 at Comedy on Kloof, but he was like literally just trying new shit off his phone. And he wasn't really.
Now at his Mitchell's playing show, then he did that like. So
Yeah.
he was playing music, but then he was playing like the piano. But then you had to see his show. It was
Yeah.
very, very good because he get the whole crowd going. So like maybe he sing a song that you all know, and he gets a crowd singing, and then he changes it out, like swap something out with like, and then I lick the air, whatever. And then he smile like, whoa, and everybody's like, what's going on? And then that's the punchline sort of.
Yeah.
Like, so everybody's singing along to the song, and then the punchline, he just swaps a word out or a line out for the punchline, which is quite good. I enjoyed him. What's his name? Craig Robinson.
Craig Robinson.
Craig
yeah.
Robinson, yeah.
Yeah, he's on The Office. Was he on The Office?
He was on The Office. He's Daryl on The Office.
Yeah.
He's
Doug Judy on
yeah.
Brooklyn Nine.
Doug Judy on Brooklyn
The
Nine-Nine,
Pontiac
yeah.
Bandit,
Yeah. So yeah, he was quite.
Yeah.
I think he was quite awesome. There is
Yeah.
he.
There he
Yeah,
is.
it was very cool. Shame he was very
Was he just telling off his phone, jokes off his phone? No piano or anything like that.
no piano or anything. Actually, the mic like bugged out just before he was supposed to go on, and I was like, "Oh no, this is so embarrassing for South Africa." It's not my gig or anything, but I was like, he's gonna say they don't have working microphones in South Africa. I got like nervous for that.
Nah, I think he's been to worse gigs. So
I'm sure.
Probably.
I'm sure he's been to worse gigs.
Worse things happen. I'm sure
It's
there.
a lovely gig. out in.
Like they
in
always
Close
talk
Street.
about. You want to say something, Nental?
Yeah, so I saw him actually like an old, probably 90s skit of him.
Is it?
So he's an old comedian, dude.
Yeah, they've all been doing it a while.
So
bro.
I
It's
think
just
he's
that
seen
after a
worse.
while-
I mean,
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
America's
he's
been
done
through that phase, and I think South African comedy is why they come here is because they feel that South Africa is going through that phase again, like going through a phase that they went through in the 80s and the
A golden age of comedy.
the golden age, the 90s, really.
Yeah.
I don't know which is the
Yeah,
golden one.
comedy is very, very young in South Africa, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if you look at this Jive Comedy Festival, now, when I first entered it was like, that was just a few years ago, like 4 years ago or something like that, 5 years ago or whatever. It was like 30 entries. Now, this recent one, how many entries was there?
Like close to
87,
80.
I think.
87.
yeah.
So that's more than double. That's like so many entries. Like, so if you look at something like that, there's so many new people in
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
competition. Talking about the Jive Comedy Festival, how did it go, Zach?
Went well for me.
Are you through to the next round?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice, man. Awesome.
My heat is on the 24th.
On the 24th.
Yeah, that's the last one.
So-
Tula also made it.
Two last made it nice.
memory.
Nice, yeah, 2 out of 3.
You weren't there at the.
I didn't go. No, I entered, but I was out of town. They were like,
I also entered, but I had a podcast, so now we know where my priorities are. Anyway, Zach, you had a good set.
I liked it. Yeah, hopefully.
You like-
that's why they
he's
got
being-
me through.
He's being modest. I heard it went very well. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did jokes that I knew were gonna hit.
Yeah.
And I think that's what everyone should do.
He did the money jokes.
I did the money jokes.
What's
yeah.
were you on stage regularly before the competition?
I'll say so fairly regularly. Yeah.
What's fairly regularly for you? Once
For
a week,
me-
once every 2 weeks, once a month,
Like at least I try to be like twice in a week.
twice in a
Yeah,
week.
if
Okay,
I
that's
can't,
regularly.
at least once a week. That's what I try to do.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
that's because you gotta keep that you gotta keep exercising, keep that. Is this Craig Robinson?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you did exactly this on at in Mitchell's Plain.
Okay, there
Keyboard
goes the
tells.
material.
Keyboards, you tell it the joke.
And it made me kind of nervous to come up, but I remember something my father would say when I was a little boy and I would be scared and alone. He would say, "Stop crying." And right now I want to share a poem with you. I call it Stop Crying. Stop crying right now. Before I give you something to cry about.
Tale us
So
all this
he's got like his comedy is different. Like it's not like not punchline heavy. It's like
How does that compare to his new stuff?
it's very much like that. It's like you tell a joke. That's his.
Yeah.
It's like singing, but it's like a joke,
But
or it's like
I think
He's got
I
a
don't know. It's got a
similar-
different style.
He's got a similar, he's definitely got a very unique style. He's got a similar like pacing to that. Like he's very like,
Yeah.
He's not like a super high energy guy.
Yeah.
Or at least not when he's speaking. Obviously,
No,
when
he's
he's
not.
singing, he's a little
Yeah.
high energy.
But I think with guys like who play instruments, and I liken it to the guys like who are very good at accents. That the funny is it's different. It's a different kind of funny because you're appreciating
think
the
it's-
talent with the comedy.
Yeah.
So like if we just like doing stand up and just doing a good set, cool. It's a different kind of appreciation because like somebody who can do an accent or play keys or play guitar, play an instrument. It's a different appreciation because you're appreciating the fact that this guy is actually doing this while doing comedy as well.
I think it's a completely separate third skill. Like
Yeah.
comedy, music,
Yeah.
musical comedy. Like I think that's a separate third skill. At least
Check if you're talking about accents now, made me think of Eddie Murphy, like, and how he could go from just telling a joke into like doing the accent, but that doing that accent would enhance that joke actually.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
going into
yeah.
that character would actually enhance that joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hear what you're saying. I what you're saying because when he does that accent, you feel more in that moment of. I don't know when he's there's he
Yeah, so
there's he's acting like a kid. You know what I mean? And
I did this, fun fact, in grade 8. they like asked us to do like some a comedy thing for like drama. And earlier in that year, I watched Delirious for the first time. And I told myself, I'm going to do the ice cream joke.
So you reenacted
And
it.
I killed. I
Crushing.
killed.
But you
Eddie
can't do
Murphy's
that, bro.
Obviously on stage. This was grade 8 in a drama class.
But you're not allowed. You stole somebody's joke. You stole Eddie Murphy's
didn't know
Murphy's
that.
joke. man.
Murdered with Eddie
So,
Murphy's ice cream.
so you
Killed with
remind
Eddie
me of,
Murphy.
and you know, Sim, I told a story on the Foof podcast.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
check
I
it
saw
out.
that one.
Where his first set, he did like Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah,
Like,
Mitch Hedberg, that's whose jokes it was.
yeah, I mean, that is exactly what you did there, bro.
Exactly.
It's
I was
grade
even
eight.
worse. I just didn't tell anyone. This is the first
I
time.
just copied it bar for bar.
Now they know,
Bar
like,
for bar, word for word.
somebody in your grade 8 class is watching this
You
podcast.
You little
This
I
guy,
knew it.
I know he did Eddie Murphy. That's where he got his start. Doing Eddie Murphy's ice cream joke.
How can you do it, bro?
Yeah.
So Eddie Murphy is the that was raw, no? Or was that hilarious?
Delirious. I was
That's
delirious.
hilarious. Okay, yeah. He's one of the greats. We were talking about goats today. Like, who's like your top? Who's the top goat? Like, and I mentioned Bill Burr. I like think he's
Okay.
like top, one of the top because I mean, Nantel posted something about him. Obviously, I thought about that statement, Nantel. When I was saying Bill Burr's one of the greats, and then I rethought it, and I first said like, nah, Dave is GOAT, but Bill is a close contender. And then I thought about it, and I was like, nah, bruh, Dave has done too much for
Yeah.
comedy and humanity to not be all-time GOAT.
By himself,
That bruh's GOAT.
Yeah,
He's
Dave
GOAT.
is head and shoulders.
Above the rest.
Yeah.
Like, maybe the
Pretty
others
much
can
anyone.
come, like,
There's
yeah.
lots of other outstanding comedians,
I would
and then
say-
it's Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. What do you want to say on that?
So I would say, okay, where's the mic? So I would say the reason why Bill is second compared to Dave is Dave has a struggle, man. There's a struggle. There's a struggle to it. So if you check in music and whatever, even Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Red Fox, they all had a struggle with them, man.
Like the best
And-
music came from the
you know what I'm
struggle
saying?
or from darkness, the blues
So
all
that,
came
so
from.
that gives the art more. It's like the question I asked D about the struggle music. The struggle, the music was there. There was other music as well, but the struggle gave it more authenticity. And I think if your art is just for you and your art is just, I'm going on a tangent, that's fine. If your art is just for you, then I feel it's a bit hollow. Man. But once you attach a community to it and the struggle with the community, then it becomes something that Bill Burr can't really do.
Yeah.
That
I don't know,
because Dave is attaching it to his struggle.
I don't know because like the way I see like just commentary on like the biggest one of the biggest things was Dave's comments on the whole transgender thing and that whole back and forth. I just that what that done for what that comment was or what it did like not just for his people, for everybody, for humanity. You know what I mean? It was a comment about humanity. It wasn't just a comment about
freedom of speech.
About black people, white people, because it was about everybody. So that's why I say he's just he's always gonna be there. It's his
He's always
thing.
on point. He's always on point, but I think he got it wrong when he. The only time I thought he got it wrong was the SNL skit where he says that Jewish people can't blame the black people, but the black people never blame the Jewish people can't blame the black people, but they never blamed him. So he was a bit off trying to connect it too, because he's really good with connecting.
That's
And you know what I'm saying. But that's the only
analogies
times-
and all that type of things.
But I would say Bill Burr is second. I would say.
Yeah,
I would say.
Callum, you want to say something?
I love Bill Burr. I like him. I was gonna say I think Dave Chappelle, besides just being like outstanding as a comedian, I think he is, out of all of the famous comedians we can think of, like way smarter than any of those guys, just like on an intellectual level.
Yeah.
That's an aside point I wanted to make.
Yeah.
I really like Cat Williams
Oh yeah, love Cat.
and
Love Cat
Richard.
Williams.
Love. Oh, I thought you said not Cat Williams.
No,
and I was like,
no,
what
no.
did Cat Williams do? What happened?
No.
He went a bit weird, but
Yeah,
he's,
he
when
did.
he was on point, he was on.
He wasn't
and
always
Richard-
on point. No, he's not always on point.
He's a gym sometimes,
he's a
but when he
phenomenal
was,
comic.
he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, when he's on stage. When
yeah,
he's off stage,
yeah,
different
unreal.
Cat. Different.
Unreal presence. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Richard Pryor, who you mentioned as well, who's apparently a terrible human being.
Apparently, yeah.
But he's
But
really
he had a
funny.
terrible upbringing, bruh.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was on fire.
We are all part of a system. Yeah.
If your mother was his mother a prostitute or something, or he grew up in a crack house, or he grew up in a what you call it, a brothel or something like that.
Something like
So
that.
if you have a upbringing like that, I mean, like
The
it's
cycle
pretty
repeats.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that they say a lot of times like that type of
Good art comes from pain. Like,
there we go back.
Like Nantel was
we coming
saying.
back to our point over there. Would you like? What's your top comics? Besides Eddie, because
Besides
you stole
Eddie,
his
okay,
jokes.
and besides Dave.
You stole his jokes. Why did you steal his jokes? It's wrong, bruh.
I really like John Mulaney.
John Mulaney.
Baby J.
The Baby J, have you watched it?
I haven't actually watched it yet.
I loved it.
I'm
Have
saving.
you seen this John Mulaney dude?
Yeah, that's John.
Is he a new guy?
No.
No. He was like he was the head writer on Saturday Night Live for like 10 years or something
Yeah.
dumb.
Is your humor as close to John Mulaney's? Hey, you got a nice suit on there. Give us some volume on this, Nantel.
I'll say it for Zach. He's going to be modest, but I think Zach's style is not dissimilar to John Mulaney. I think you're not a clean comic like
Yeah.
completely, but pretty much clean
yeah.
cut, wholesome.
Wholesome.
This year,
Thanks.
clean cut and wholesome.
I would look older, but it didn't happen. I don't look older, I just look worse, I think. Honestly, when I'm walking down the street, no one's ever like, hey, look at that man. I think they're just like, whoa, that tall child looks terrible. Get some rest, tall child. You can't keep burning
Okay,
candles.
so I see the Zach influence there, like the cadence.
Yeah.
there's
I
definitely
think like
something.
guys like Mulaney and Seinfeld, like the way I write is very like story based. Like I'm always struggling. Like my punchline is all the way at the end of the joke, and then I'm like, but there's so much story before, and then like the story isn't funny at all.
You're like, stay
That's
with
so
me,
to
trust me.
So I also write like that. I got a big punchline at the end, but I must first tell you a whole
Yeah,
story
you
about
need the background,
how I
you
did
need-
this and that.
You
and-
need the context.
Yeah.
So like yeah, guys like Mulaney, Seinfeld, who else?
So what you need to work on is like if you're telling a long story and then getting your punchline, you need to work on which I was told to work on is economy of words.
Yeah.
So like less words to
Yeah.
get to the punchline, which
Yeah.
is quite awesome.
Respect the reader.
I get there eventually. It's just like the first few times I do the joke, I have to do like the whole thing. So I know, okay, that's useless. You don't need that. You don't need that. Then I can start to chuck away and make it like a nice little bit. But the first few times I'm like, I'm gonna die.
Cool, I'm just
but
gonna-
it's for the joke. I'm gonna die for the joke. Eventually, they don't know, but it's coming.
I'm just going to tell this story.
It's coming.
Who else is liquor? Who else do you guys rate like it's in South Africa? We're not talking internationally. Who do you rate highly in South Africa? Comedians.
Sure, there's so
I
many.
really like Dylan Oliphant. Like,
Dylan Oliphant's unreal. Like, I personally don't love like one-liner comedy.
yeah, but the way he does it, oh
but he's
my
so
word.
Dylan Oliphant's so
Does
good.
he do a lot of one-liners? Like
Yeah, he's pretty much just
That's
one-liners.
what's basically his thing. Yeah.
and he's cooking like every 15 seconds. Pretty much, he's getting a laugh.
yeah.
he won a award now for the content that he
Yeah, it
shares
was the content.
he does this Man United thing like quite a ransom.
Yes, he
and
does
it
his little
eventually even
rants.
came to the Premier League somehow.
Yeah.
Michael, yeah.
Wow.
Somebody showed Michael Owen like, yeah, look at this prize. Always
reacting to-
calling you
Yes,
like,
I have seen
and
that.
he's like, yo, what, my bro, what's up with this lighty? It's quite, it's funny.
Yeah,
Imagine
Dylan
it, Carol.
Oliphant's really funny. I saw you searching now. Dalen
Dalen
Oliver,
Dalen Oliver.
obviously is Dalen, Yasin, KG.
Oh, KG.
KG is a joke.
I think he's my favorite, actually.
KG I think is probably my favorite South African comedian.
Yeah.
He also like, if I was putting together like a hypothetical something like Saturday Night Live
most definitely. You would want him
in South
there.
Africa, first name on the team sheet
Yeah.
is KG.
KG, yeah.
So they did this. They did the series for SABC 2, I think it was. Comedy mixtape. That's
Comedy
what it was.
mixtape, yeah.
And he was like a general.
Oh, watch that. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, bruh.
Yeah.
Comedy mixtape where he killed me. Like, so then I don't know what the one bruh comes up with ideas for the dictator, and then he's like the dictator. Oh, it was brilliant.
Alfred Adrian is unreal as well.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
He's
He
so funny.
he sat in that chair over there, and I got to chat to him for 2 hours.
That's like
amazing guy,
Oh,
amazing person.
Yo, that man takes the roof off a room. That's like lots of other comedians are very funny and they get laughs, but Alfred, like, people are crying and throwing up and like fainting. They are laughing. This man does not let you breathe. Like,
For me, I think he is like currently pound for pound like number one. Like there is other
there's
I think there's a
but
fair argument for that.
pound for pound, I think he's like number one. There is like the greats like the Mark Lotterins who's been here
course,
for Stuart Taylor's who's been here for ages. They obviously like on another level, I think. But if you look at like currently who's on the scene doing the thing, I think he's pound for pound like
Yeah.
you're one of the
Nice.
funniest brass out there. Like.
Obviously, also like Robbie Collins is
Robbie Collins
and
also,
also
no?
just a super nice guy. Like I think he's like very aware of the like sway he carries in the comedy community, and he's like super keen to sort of just like spread that positivity. That
Did he help you out somehow? You seem to be had like
not even like, he's just super like friendly. Like he never. Funnily enough, the gigs I was at where he was at, I wasn't performing. He was like, "Hey man, are you also a comic? Oh, cool. When are you on? Like, I'd like to see you perform sometime." Which is just like, like he knows that the guys are like clamoring for an interaction with him, and he's just being like super generous with his time and words, which I think is really cool. I think it's easy to be a dick if you're like famous and successful.
I'd like to have him on the podcast, but I don't seem to get those interactions. Maybe I'm a dick. Like. Maybe I'm a dick because I get different interactions. I SMS the guy, but some guys and message the guy or WhatsApp the people. They don't worry. Whatever. They don't read my text. But I don't know. Maybe I'm a dick or something like that. What is this you bringing up about with Trevor Noah? Trevor Noah's got the original series.
This is a TV show where comedians tell each other jokes and Yeah, and like if you laugh, like that's a point against you.
Okay.
So if I tell you a joke now
and
then you laugh,
that's a point for you. But
then I get a point.
So they bring in the series to South Africa.
Amazon Prime, I think, is doing it.
But there's going to be South African comedians doing that, obviously.
Yeah.
That's why. That
It's
is.
It says something else. For I mean, this guy is the
I think so. I could be
sweetheart of American
They love him.
late night, and he gave it up and he's doing this. They obviously
it
gave
to
him a
South
hell of a percentage equity, I would think,
I think, like
because I mean he could do movies in America. Huh?
No,
he
yeah,
could try at
he's-
least.
I think he loves stand up, hey?
Yeah.
I think he enjoyed the late night thing, but I think he really wants to tour and do stand up.
My theory about that late night thing is that he first got there, he wasn't given a script, or the script was a little. And as the years went on, he got a script and he was told to say this and not to say that. That's why he left. That's my theory.
Yeah, maybe.
Because if you watch him over the years, no, and comedians, everybody want to be on Lekker with Trevor Noah. But I'm gonna say this: if you watch him over the years, from the time, and he's a lekker bra with everybody, and maybe me saying this is never gonna get the opportunity to have him on my podcast. Yeah. But if you watch him over the years, he started off like the Daily Show, gooing it. But then slowly over the years, it's like he got more of a script and he had to be more left aligned and not right aligned, and he had to only like criticize the one side and not the other side. And that is the thing in America. Politics play a major role in the media and whatever, the Daily Show and all those type of things. So if you're gonna come for the joke against the left, they're gonna say scrub, write that one, scrub, make a joke against the right.
But I also
you know
think with like networks, they work on the ratings, man. So obviously, if you're going to make a joke about the left, your ratings are going to go down because people are going to stop watching.
Exactly.
So I'm sure
He was last. He was last number wise. He was last in the.
Is it?
Yeah, he was. The numbers was really bad.
Sure.
Yeah, because podcasting is gonna trump all those numbers eventually.
All of those.
But
not podcasting.
In
I should
between
say.
the shows.
I mean, you're still up against your own type of shows.
Yeah,
so
like Fallon, Colbert,
exactly.
all those kind of shows.
But all those, I mean, those shows in that format are kind of dying. Like,
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
It's network television. Like, there's like 6 viewers on NBC.
He was just dying sooner. He was just dying quicker.
Yeah, true.
It is dying, and I think something more free flowing and open discussions like this is taking over, and I like that. No, but it's better. You shouldn't be fed information.
Yeah.
This
But no, but
you
the thing
should
is,
have
I think-
like difference of opinions,
I think
sharing information.
The Fox News was their channels were more successful.
But all those brass are gone.
Because they weren't forced to as like the script, what you just said now, they weren't forced to feed
follow
them
the script.
the leftist stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, why Tucker Carlson but he's
and
in
the other
news.
one.
Yeah, but they were fired. But the thing is, they were fired because of that lawsuit that Fox lost there.
Yeah.
So
There's politics involved with it. With that is
Absolutely. Yeah.
both those heads, Tucker Carlson and what's the other one from CNN?
Dom.
Don Moreira.
Lemon.
Both of them, they were my bro, is because their salaries are so flippin' high, and the numbers don't match, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, and if you look at it, those two Owens are two of the highest paid dudes. So how can you be paying these guys like massive salaries and your company's not even making? You know what I mean?
Did you check?
You're not making that money anymore.
Do you Patrick bit something?
Patrick David Lewis. Patrick David.
He does a
whatever.
podcast, right?
Yeah,
So he's a businessman.
brilliant, bro. But he doesn't need to do the podcast. He's so rich.
Yeah, but he made an offer to Tucker for 100 million over 5 years to join his network, basically. Sure. That was like I think it was yesterday or a couple of hours ago.
Numbers.
So it's podcasting is major money. I mean, Rogan showed it.
Yo, but 100 million can.
100 million over 5 years, which is not.
20 million a year, yeah.
I think they also made the same offer.
Good work if you can get it.
Does that bruh pull at numbers?
But here's the thing: what I've learned from I obviously study how the podcast world is going, right? So what they do is they take over your personal page, and then you share your personal page. Somehow you need to work out something with your personal page and the revenue that you make from the personal page.
Yeah, you probably
goes
have
into you getting paid as well. So there's some fine line, man.
You probably at the very least have to like report the numbers from your personal page and that sort of thing. Like
but I know
But your personal page got nothing to do with the.
It depends what they offer you.
If you're working for a company, your personal page and your Instagram and that got nothing to do with that unless it's underwritten.
The reason why I'm saying that is because there was another comedian he was on Daily Wire, and he didn't want to sign with Daily Wire, and then he made the whole contract in the open. And one of the things was your personal page will belong to us, to Daily Wire, I think. And if you get if YouTube or Facebook whatever bans you, then money will be deducted from your original pay type of thing.
Sure.
And then he was like against it because he said that YouTube and all that places is already left Like you said.
Yeah, it's
you know what I'm
aligned
saying?
to a certain...
So if he's going to say something on the right where it benefits Trump or something like that,
aligned to
they're
a
going to
certain
dox him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's aligned to a specific
But it's very
agenda.
interesting. It's very interesting how comedy and news and podcasting, also, let me say, comedy, news, and media is guiding the way forward.
That's why I say this is not the final form of what we're doing here. This podcasting, whatever we're doing, this TikToks, whatever. It's not the final form. It's gonna amalgamate. And if you look at back in the day, right now. So what was the first form of this type of thing? Wasn't it the court jester or the brat talking there in the town caller or something like that? There was always somebody trying to do something, and then the town jester, he would maybe mock the ideas of a stupid king, chopping off everybody's head. So then people look at that and be like, look at that, that's stupid. Let's try to change certain things. Maybe then in comedy, people bring up certain later on. People, what's that guy's name? As the 60s go on, they push the agenda to think differently. So throughout time, there's always somebody trying to point or shine the light on, yo, that's a ridiculous idea, man.
Yeah.
Have a look at the ridiculous idea. Let's change that. And if we do it in a funny way, people tend to listen.
Yeah.
If we do it in an educational manner, people tend to listen. People want to be uplifted. People don't want to, people don't want blind eyes. And the mainstream media, they were supposed to be telling, if you look at it back in the day, when we used to watch the news, it used to be just factual. Nowadays, the news are more aligned to agendas and all those type of things. That's when it becomes people can sniff that bullshit. They're like, wait, you're trying to feed me a bunch of
it's
nonsense here.
polarized.
Yeah, let me rather go to a comedy show and laugh at the stupid ideas that you are trying to present to me.
It's also very binary in that it's this or this when issues are discussed. Anyway, at least from an opinion perspective, and I think people know that there's a lot more nuance to issues like that.
Yeah.
And it's not just this or
that or
this.
that.
It's actually more like this on the spectrum.
It's not just white and black. It's
Yeah.
grey. There's grey as well. There's grey areas for everybody. You bring it up. So Conrad Koch, he's a comedian that does it well. That comments on political comedy.
So I would
within South
say
Africa.
him and Trevor is number one when it comes to the politics and how they. I actually saw him work out his some new material at G Spot in the Secret Place. Dude, I was thoroughly impressed. I don't go to a lot of comedy shows, but I was impressed because one of the premise that how we set it up and everything was fucking brilliant, dude. And the premise, what he said was what I got out of it was you can't be a good guy unless you can't consider that you might be a bad guy. Does it make sense?
Absolutely. Anyone who, and it's the same thing with politics. Anyone who thinks that they should be a politician probably shouldn't be a politician. Those are not good people.
Why is that?
People who think, oh, you know what? You know who should have the power?
Me.
I should be telling everyone what to do.
Egotistical type of.
Yeah, that's generally not a good.
I like Rogan's perspective. He says everybody needs to do mushrooms. Even that egotistical brasa, they must do mushrooms and that will bring, you know what I'm saying?
We're just an ego death away from just a utopian society.
I think that's also what make comedians so much different. It's because they are eating humble pie, all the time.
That's what I was saying.
Being humbled,
I think the key. Who the fuck is this guy?
Give us your point of view.
But
This is an open platform.
I think
your
the
point of view is-
fundamental thing that underpins good stand-up comedy is self-awareness. I think that's the most important. I don't think you can be a comic if you're not self-aware.
Yeah.
Or any artist, really, if you think about it, no?
Yeah.
Or a good
Like a
comic.
DJ
That's-
you have to be.
You have
100%.
to. You have to
Can't be
hold
a
up the
good
mirror.
comic. We have comics who aren't self-aware. To be a good comic, you need to be self-aware.
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
it's sometimes hard to be honest with yourself. Like I'm taking, I know you guys are taking that side, but I'm gonna take the other side of this. Like it's like sometimes hard to be honest with yourself. And I mean, you look yourself in the mirror and you're like, nah, this is who I am. Or you tell yourself, I don't know, you tell yourself you're something you're not enabled, just so you can feel better.
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yeah. I think that
I tell myself I'm the shit so that I can be the shit, so that one day maybe I can really be the shit.
yeah.
I don't think I don't think that vetoes it automatically.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we spoke about it a little bit at the beginning of the show. We're just three guys who are in June going to the second biggest art festival in the world. Who are we? Like, so I hear you in terms of that.
But I think like last year I spoke a lot with like the guys in my class because we were all like cucking ourselves. We were like, oh my word, we're not going to be studying and we're actually going to be like in the world trying to do this thing in this industry, which is absolutely really tough to make it in. And it's that thing where you do get the guys who are like ignorant to the fact that they're not that guy. But that doesn't mean to say you shouldn't think of yourself as that guy.
Yeah.
But there's a point in it's not. You can see it in the person where you know you're talented, you know you're doing that stuff, but like they kind of reserved with it, and that's like the cool people. But then you get the Owens who, yes, they do have talent, but then they think everything the bee's knees, like the cuck.
And that's a bit of an
And that's
irritating person
where you don't want to be.
Yeah. I don't
So
think
you should always be backing yourself, always back yourself to do the things, but not to a point where you think I am the be all and end all of this thing.
confidence and not cockiness.
Yeah, I think that's nice. That's a nice thing.
And there's shit. What did I want to say now?
While you getting your thoughts, but here's the thing: it's a difficult thing because once you are there, right, and you come comfortable with yourself and you're confident, and you get feedback from the people. Just remember that level is not going to be there forever.
Yeah.
So you need to up that even.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
you
saying?
constantly
So
need to.
then you need to, the conversation starts over again. Okay, so you on that level? Are you on the new level?
Thinking you're something you're not.
Are you on that level? And will other people see you as that level? But the other people don't really matter that 100%. But it's a give and take, man. It's a beautiful dance where, you know what I'm saying? So it's a conversation also that, sorry to break your word, where
I'm sorry.
I said when D got his stripes to be called a grandmaster, right? So I asked her, so how does this work? So I got a brilliant answer. So the award was given to him and he accepted it. So once he accepted it, it was the people gave it to him, but he had to accept it. So because he's a humble guy. But once that two married, now he is the grandmaster because nobody's going to.
Who gave him the award?
There was an award. I think it was 2011, 2012. I think it was around about there. I was a good up, so we had a party. Had a party for him. We had pictures and whatever. But it was a organization, I think in Joburg or something, that they honored him. They acknowledged his
work
his life work. Yeah, because in the States you get granted that. You know what I'm saying? So there's I actually met two grandmasters in my life. The grandmaster Kaz. So it was very strange to me how it happens there and how it would happen here, because I don't see that there's other countries, man. So it was weird.
I wonder how you become a grandmaster in comedy, like. You don't know, you just become coach or something like it. It's weird how there's no. How do you put yourself? When you call yourself an open micer, when you call yourself a support act, when you call yourself a headliner, there's no sort of like, what do you call yourselves? Open micers.
Open mic.
Yeah.
Open micers.
Yeah.
When you feel because you start doing things like you saw like support acts. Going to Gravestone Festival, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
so it's like people could say, check it, those open micers thinking they support acts. What's up with us, brasa?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's like we said earlier. Like we knew when we applied that people were going to be like, That's weird.
What if a headliner don't get a spot?
And then we
you
got the
guys
spot,
get the spot.
yeah.
You know, they're going to be looking at you like, yo,
Yeah.
good deal.
Yeah. That being said,
We're going to high schools. After this. We're going to high school after this. We signed. Did you sign? You clearly didn't. Stick the box.
we're so sure that like some of the people who applied and didn't get in like filled out the form wrong. I'm so sure that happened.
Sorry, man. I'm throwing salt on wounds here.
No, yeah.
You know, I must stick the Fiani. But
No, yeah.
it's questions that is out there that people are bound to ask. Or,
No, totally.
Yeah, it's
And
it's
we
things that's-
feel weird about it. That's to be clear, we feel weird about it, but we're just pressing
You deserve
on.
it, man.
We're just
You
giving
deserve
it a
it.
shot.
Take it. Grab it with both hands, with both opportunities. So for anybody that is going to Grahamstown out there that's going to listen to this, I mean, these guys are going to be there. Check them out. Like I know there's a lot of people from Cape Town that go there in June, July. But obviously you're going to get some reps in, and that's including this weekend. You guys are going to be at the Armchair. Am I right?
We hope so.
Allegedly this
What?
weekend we're supposed to be at Armchair.
But why allegedly
There
not?
may be a slight
Slight
scheduling
shift.
conflict.
Oh no.
That's not on our side. It's just a booking thing. It's an admin thing.
Okay.
They overbooked.
Yeah, we would love to be there on Sunday. We would, but it's a booking thing.
But okay, people must check out your Facebook
we'll
page
await-
and check it out.
we'll await
if they wanna-
confirmation.
so this is the National Arts Festival from the 22nd of June to the 2nd of July. Have you guys ever thought of putting a podcast together? Or something like
We
that?
have a little bit.
Yeah,
as three comedians.
We wanted we were talking about like that TikTok thing and like the clips and stuff. It's also like very good like a promotional space. Like even if podcasting isn't your main goal, just to like promote like the comedy and like doing little clips in like a podcast like format and just like chatting about things and even like recording our sets and clipping that up a bit and putting it on TikTok, I think would be a fun thing to do, like before Fest and even after that. So yeah, it's something we've been thinking of, and hopefully soon we'll do it.
Do you try to ever get in a series or something like that?
Oh yeah, bro, auditions all the time.
Is it? Weren't you in Blood and Water or anything like that?
No.
Is it?
Haven't gotten the tapes, but Blood in Water, if you're seeing this.
Just go on
available.
Grandpa's
I'm still
Instagram home,
available.
if you don't mind. So Grandpa is a friend of mine. Grandpa and Gary Joshua, they are stuntmen, and brah, they have the best job on earth. Sorry, they have the best jobs on earth. But anyway, they've been doing some dope stuff. They're working on I think they're working on a new series like King Chaka or something. King Shaka, something like that. They did a Woman King.
Oh,
so
wow.
they train the
Amazing.
ladies for that Woman King
that's
and stuff
nice.
like that. They work
I
with
watched
Siv.
Woman King. That movie was cool as fuck.
Yeah, so they do all they work with Siv to train him and stuff. So that's Grant. Just show us that this first clip over the year, that one, yeah. Quite cool. Now you must be signed in now. Come on, man. Okay, but anyway, yeah, this is Grant, our buddy, but he's like very much in the movies. He's been quite a bit of movies there. There's Woman King.
Very cool.
Yeah, and he's been in other movies like either as
Stunt ensemble. Wow. That's
yeah,
very cool.
I think they got nominated or something like that.
That's
They won or
insane.
something
That's
like that.
very cool.
Yeah, they were on Resident Evil, so I'm familiar with all the series. That's why I asked you about the series. Or you ever get like
Haven't gotten the parts yet. Going to the auditions.
Rob Van Vuren was on Resident Evil as well.
Yeah.
was he on there?
Yeah.
What is he?
He gets punched by a lady.
Oh, and that other one that Rob Van Vuren was in. So what's it? The one with
It's a South African show. Yeah.
Louis Ludik.
Ludik.
no Ludik. I'm talking about the girl Queen. What's her name?
Queen Sono.
Queen Sona.
Yeah.
Now that one. Yes, so did he train Queen? He
cool.
trained. What's her name?
Pearl Tusi.
Pearl Tusi, they trained Pearl Tusi. And Gary, my coach, head coach, he's like, he fights. He does a fight scene with her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they do quite cool fight scenes and
That's
in the
very
movies.
cool, yeah.
There was a movie with Jared Geduld. I don't know if you checked it out. It was, what is that movie? It's like almost like a action-packed movie, but it's a colored as the
the
first
lead,
colored action hero. Jared geduld. So they train him for that or so. And then he actually fights like in I think the main villain of that is remember Ralph van Vieren had
Corné and Twaki.
Corneille and Twaki.
Yeah.
So he's Twaki and Corneille. No, it's the other guy, Rob, Low Fenter. Low Fenter. But Low Fenter is jacked now. He's like muscular and like he shaved his head, so he look like a totally different bro. But yeah, he's like a bad guy. But I've seen in him some other stuff as well. Like anyway, yeah, Low Fenter's wife I used to work with before, but just it's like I like the series. I like watching them and I'm like, oh, I wish that was my fucking girl.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I spark to be doing something there on the sets or something like that. That's why I get so enthusiastic about your future career that
man.
I see that you can get into. I think the Cape Town film industry is quite in a healthy place now.
Yeah, it's in a good
don't you think?
space. I think like with Netflix especially, and basically all the streaming things. So it's really cheap to come shoot here
Yeah.
for like networks and shows and stuff. So they come through here, which is great because they need actors. So just like keep them coming, and I think it's growing and growing. And now with Netflix like putting out South African shows and African shows, like specifically not related to whatever they're doing in the States, it's also giving a lot of opportunities. Like with Blood and Water, like I'm probably never gonna get on Blood and Water now. It's a good it's a good show that like broadcasts like a different kind of acting in South Africa. Because if you watch like a lot of like South African shows trying to emulate like the American shows in like the style they act in, that's not us. Like that's why KykNet does so well. It's because it does like Afrikaans things in their way. They don't try to emulate or
Afrikaans theatre and cinema.
Yeah.
That stuff's popping off.
That's why it does well.
So Blood and Water season, what's the latest season? 3?
Season 3.
Yeah.
Season 1.
Yeah, the bad guy in there is actually my coach.
Yeah.
Like, and he's a black belt, so you talking shit about his acting. And he watches this now. So he's in the car. What are you joking?
If I get you on set one day, my bro, this is not a personal attack on you. I haven't even watched season 3. I don't know who you are, so this is the previous season.
Only joking. Yeah, I do get what you're saying, but I mean that is like a soapy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is that soapy type of
Yes.
feel to it. Like.
Yeah.
And it's a South African soapy that's like a bit like modern, and I like it. And
look, if
need the variety
Yeah.
of that type of thing. You know what I actually started watching recently is Easu.
Oh yeah.
Yo, it's on Netflix.
Is it?
And I started watching it from season 1. My bro, the acting in there, it's like 20 years ago, on point, bruh.
Yeah.
But it's also done some of the acting is also done in a very soapy style. But still, there is parts of it that's like super on point. Like it, I can like one bruh Javas in there. He's a brilliant actor. And I mean, I think he went on to do Generations and all those other type of stuff. But like we need variety, man. We need different type of stuff. We need a colored action hero. We need what is Queen Sona? She was a spy.
Yeah.
You need that type of thing. You know what I mean? I think
And I think also
we
that's
need comedians. We don't have comedy movies, like dope comedy movies.
I think that's also what's going to be cool is opportunities are gonna come now for those movies to happen, because like the talent is here. Like we have really great writers in the country. It's just they don't get the opportunities to make the stuff.
Yeah, when was the last dope comedy movie? And I'm not talking about Leon Schuster.
Yeah,
What,
yeah.
Leo Loop? Did you watch that one? I don't know.
You know what I watched on Netflix actually is Blitz Patrolli
Bullets Patrolli.
with Joey Rusdin and David
Oh,
Cow.
yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, and they play cops, but they
It's
like
good.
I think it's
really funny.
really
I
fun.
watched
Sodium
it
Day was
once.
also comedy. Eh?
What?
Sodium Day was also comedy. Eh? A lot of people see it just as comedy because they laugh.
I've never seen Sodium Day, but
I like
I've
Sodium.
heard
I
about
like
it.
Sodium, but it wasn't comedy, man. This Indian is heavy, bruh.
Yeah, no, the message in there is heavy, but a lot of people saw the one bra
Comedy in
and
it.
The one bra is
comedy in it,
comedian. Yeah,
and
yeah.
they only saw it as a comedy.
No, the Wambra is but he is the comedic relief in that program. Because you gotta have somebody that's
That breaks
guy.
that tension and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Like
you
that,
need-
And he's that sort of, but the other people are very serious in there. I like that also. I was thinking of another South African comedy, Material.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That is obviously good, but it's also done differently. It's done in a dramatic
Yeah.
way.
I don't know if you guys.
I think it's a brilliant story, and it just happens to be about someone as funny as
Stand-up
Riyadh
comedy,
Musa and stand-up comedy. So like you have to have funny elements in there, but I think it's just a good story without the.
But I like the type of comedy that you talking. I don't know if Blitz Patrol is almost like a slapstick kind of silly type of. I love that shit.
Yeah, and it's got all of those like. It's got like Chris Forrest, David Cow, Joey Rasdin, like Mel Miller.
Okay.
Tatsin Konzo's in it as well. Like it's basically the whole cast.
All
is
your heroes.
It's stand-up comedians. Like
So you enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
I need to check that one out.
There's a show, well, it's done now. It used to be on Kiknet called Hotel.
It was
Skalk.
Skalk, yeah.
Skalk was in it. That show also hilarious. Hilarious.
Skulkers is so good, eh? And he also studied drama, no?
At UCT too, yeah.
Did he study also from?
Yeah.
So one day I'm watching Tom Segura's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Segura, what is it called? Your Mom's House.
Your mom's house, yeah.
And he starts talking about his time in South Africa. So he was here a long time ago. I can't remember. Savannah brought him, and then he's telling us the story on the podcast. And I'm like, you know, this one time in South Africa, and then we're doing this show with David Cow. David Cow was like brought him, and I think Russell
Peters.
Peters was so involved. And there's one South African guy, he's a drama student, and he's like explaining the story. I'm like, who's this bro? And he says, yo, this bro's hilarious. And like, he just started comedy. I think it was 2012, 2011. I don't know. That was his first time that he won the Savannah competition.
Okay.
I think it's pretty much the competition that we're doing now, actually. I think that
It's
before
the
it was...
Choice.
No, is it the Communist Choice? Was that?
Because that
That's-
one
yeah,
happened
that's
early
Oh,
in the,
okay, that's a
what the-
different type of one.
different one.
Oh, okay, so there's a Comedy Choice one. So he won that at that year, Skalk, and then he got the opportunity to perform with him, and they loved him and it's just crazy like listening to a podcast and this brother just started talking about South African comedian.
Yeah.
It's so much Skalk beside it. I was like, yo, this fuck, like he's so awesome. Like,
Yeah, Skalk's great.
yo, one day, like, my Skalk story. So one day, I used to do the open mics and stuff like that. And I go, there's like going to be like a 20 or 20 in 5. You know those?
Yes,
yeah,
one of those,
yeah.
yeah.
So we have one of those nights, like, right? And Yasin Bonds, this is calling out the names, like, and next to the stage is... So he's like, okay, so next to the stage is Skalk Poseidon. So there's 4 comedians before Skalk and they all eat shit. Skalk takes the stage and he kills me. That bra's talking about wallpaper. He's talking about the literal wallpaper at Omchi. So he's not even doing like his own material. He's just riffing. Nah, this wallpaper's like this, and then he goes up to the wallpaper and starts talking about pulling it on the wall, and then he just leaves it and then, okay, thank you, that's my set, and he goes off stage. Bruh, I'm up next to me. No, next to the stage. Next to the stage, Ryan Joseph, Yasin Barnes called. I'm like, what is this brat doing? How can you? My bro, I go up, my bro, eat, my bro, a bag of, that is the hardest. My bro, you couldn't hear a pin drop in that place. Everybody was like, what is this brat doing? You shouldn't be here. Like, it was like, people were like embarrassed for me. I could feel the crowd's embarrassment there.
That's
like,
the worst
even
thing.
they were like,
Oh, shame, man.
Yeah, I'd rather a crowd boo me
Then
than them be like,
and I think I even heard something like, oh, shame. He's dying.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shame.
if people are like, good try, then it's
Nah.
like, no.
No,
But
tell me
I
I'm a
boo
heard,
me rather.
oh, shame. That must hurt. And then I got off stage like at 3-minute mark. Man. They didn't even flash me. 3 minutes where I was like, I get off stage. Skalk gets back on stage. and finishes my set for me, bruh. Basically talks again about wallpaper. And he's talking about wooden flooring and the brass killing the people. It's like, ah! It's like the funniest shit they ever heard in their life. Wallpaper. Anyway, that was a baptism of fire. I'll never forget it. It was beautiful that Yasin Barnes did that to me. So I can learn, man. You have to learn.
Oh, yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I would like to have Yasin Barnes on the podcast and I ask him, bro, what were you thinking when you did that? But it was a brilliant moment because it made me realize a lot. It's like, oh, there's levels to this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's levels to this shit. And maybe I was getting a few easy laughs and stuff like that. You have to work for that shit. Like, I don't know.
It's almost I like almost like dying.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like a badge of honor. Like
Yeah.
you know, everyone died tonight.
Yeah.
Me too. Like
It's not awkward if you're the only one that died and everybody else did well.
that is awkward.
Then you have to be like, oh no.
Then you have to really go be introspective about things.
Yeah.
And people are like, great set, and you're like, okay,
Nah, maybe not.
we saw that. You don't need a.
But that's the time that you go be introspective, and that's the time that you come back better. Like, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
the times that you ate shit is the times that you went back and went to go right harder than you ever did before.
Absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously you don't want to eat shit again. So
Yeah. And I think it helps you work. I think sometimes, you know, we come up with jokes and we tell them and we expect people to laugh at a certain part of the joke. And that's not actually the part that people find funny. They find a part a little bit earlier before funny. And you go, wait, why are you guys laughing now? I'm not
the funny
there
part.
yet.
Don't-
Wait. And then you have to rework the joke.
Yeah.
And like work out what people actually find funny about your joke. And it's not necessarily the part that you thought was funny. And yeah, I think it's much more beneficial for your craft
To die a few
to
times.
die a few times.
Yeah.
You
To
seem like
learn.
you write a lot. Do you write a lot?
Yeah. I mean, my job is writing.
Okay, you're
Yeah.
you're a copywriter. You
I'm
mentioned.
a copywriter, yeah. Which
So your job is writing. So that's why I'm guessing you write a lot of jokes. Then.
I guess so. I like anytime something. I have a little black book that I keep with me pretty much all the time. I don't have it now, so that's not helpful. And if something funny comes up,
Yeah, you jot it down.
I'm like, cool. That's the start of a premise.
Because like we're gonna talk about like writing processes. Like I've tried to say, okay, I'm gonna have a writing session for like an hour. I'm just gonna write and try to think of jokes, and that I can't do that. Like you're saying, like a thought will come into my head, and then I'll riff on that thought, and then once I have like a little chunk that I think could be a joke, then I write that down.
And I used to, like, when I first started comedy, I used to, like, write the joke at, like, in essay format. I used to, like, write the joke out with punctuation and full stops and, like,
Have a
drop a line
title.
and, like, emphasize this part and then, like, drop a line.
Now you don't have
And,
it
like,
anymore.
less so now. Like, now I'll write down the premise so that I don't lose, like, the fundamentals of what I've, like, based this idea on. And then I'll kind of try perform it to work
How
the
did
joke
you?
out.
What did you study? Sorry,
Political science and
you
economics.
studied political science and economics, and then how did you become a copywriter? It's a weird transition, bro.
Yeah, so it's funny. Zach was talking about his 4 years of university. I did 6. I was only supposed to do 3.
6.
I did a BA in I chose politics and economics as my majors. And then in my 3rd year, the chairman of the football club I was playing for at the time was like, hey, we're doing this fundraising thing. I follow you on Twitter. You tweet some funny shit sometimes. Do you want to manage the socials for this fundraising campaign we're doing? And I was like, there's literally nothing I would like to do more. And I did a pretty good job. And this guy who owned an advertising agency, was like, hey, you did a really good job at that. Do you want to come work for me? And this was in the middle of my first 3rd year. And I was like, this is why people study, to get a job. So yeah, I'm going to take the job. And then I did my third year 3 more times while working and studying.
Okay.
But yeah, I always had like an interest in like communication and social media, shit like that.
But obviously working for you work for ad agency.
I used to work for an ad agency. I work for a e-commerce company now. I'm like the in-house copywriter. I'm part of the in-house team, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But that is, I'm a graphic designer, so I work quite closely with copywriters. It's pretty far off from political science, so that's why you want to maybe get back into comedies. You're way back into political science.
I guess so.
You got any political commentary you wanna?
I do a little bit of political commentary, I guess. So when I first started, like my instinct was to write about like political stuff, but I think coming from like a political science background, where I didn't really study that well. Like I did okay at university. I was a solid C student. Like I don't think I like understand it well enough to like distill it in a way that's accessible for people.
For everybody.
Yeah.
You know, you're saying that as like recently there was a strike, this EFF strike. So somehow, and I was working on writing this joke down. It's like my kids, like I have a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old, 8-year-old and a 7-year-old, sorry. And they like want to do, somehow they found out about the strike. Oh, people must work from, mustn't go to school or something like that. But they found out about, so they were like, strike, like what's up with us? So I was like, nah, you see this EFF guys, they like, causing nonsense, so they're making it, and I couldn't explain it. How do you explain strike to them? Because now, if I explain to them, they like, because I say, sometimes these people, they don't want to work. I didn't explain it properly to them. Sometimes the people don't want to work, so they like, oh, so we can also do that. We can strike school.
Exactly.
I'm like, whoa, I'm giving you the wrong information here.
That's not how this works.
Yeah. I totally messed that up. Like, but I don't know. I tried to make that into a joke or tried to explain that my kids are getting if you don't explain something properly to somebody, it can go horribly wrong.
Yeah, I
especially striking.
I think it's like an Einstein quote, or it might be like one of those like made up internet quotes.
And then they just put
like
Albert Einstein's face there.
But it's they say if you can't explain something in a way that a 5-year-old understands it, then you don't understand that thing. Really.
So I don't understand striking myself.
I
do understand striking, but I don't know how to explain striking the way the EFF does it. Like,
yeah, and I think that's the like skill of
the EFF.
Guys.
I agree.
Muddying the waters, just confusion. The skill of guys who write shows like when Loyiso Gola was doing late night news and the writing team on there. There's a guy called I think it's Kamil Saloji, who was the head writer on that, and that show got nominated for an Emmy. I don't know if you guys remember.
Right.
And I think they won 2 Emmys for like best international comedy content or something unreal. And he's not a comedian, doesn't do comedy.
He just writes.
He's got a PhD in political science from Wits.
Okay.
So he obviously understands how to distill those things in a way.
In an easy way
that
to form.
That a 5-year-old could understand it. And that then obviously he's with Loyiso Gola and whoever else was on that team. I think Loyiso Madinga, I think maybe guys like David Kabuka were involved as well. They just make it funny. Like, and I think that's a real skill, which I do some political jokes, but like,
yeah, I think that you're right. It is a real skill because, like, I mean, we were talking about economy of words or so. It's like taking a whole lot of information, condensing it, giving it to somebody. Comedy is a way of doing that. It's just that, I felt that when I first started doing this podcasting, I struggled to articulate myself, and I still do. But throughout the years of doing it, I'm getting better and better at it. Like. I did this one roast competition back in the days. The Foof guys used to have a roast competition.
Yeah, we've heard stories.
Bro, this is the bomb that time. The good old days of Nomad. Anyway, so at that time I did it, but I was so shit at it because I was saying so many words, and then one of the judges was like he ripped me to pieces and was like, yeah, Ryan has a brilliant way of articulating himself, and the whole audience like laughed, like pointed and laughed, and I almost like never forget this moment, like the way he said it like was like such a condescending way at me, and the way the audience laughed at me was like, oh, that is so painful. And yeah, one day, I think that's one of the reasons why I continue to maybe do this podcast. It's because maybe deep down, I want to get back at Mark and keep it going.
I was never ready.
It's because maybe one day I want to get back at Mark for mocking me on that stage.
I was never ready for the music in my ear.
Thanks for that. Anyway, I think we covered quite a bit tonight. I left you with a sad story there. Yeah, man. We covered quite a bit of time. We almost did 2 hours here tonight. Sure. So you guys got a comedy show coming up?
Yeah, so we'll definitely have a few coming up. We're doing one on the 18th of May at a new hotel. We're doing one of each.
At a new hotel as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
When is it? 18th of May?
18th of May.
A new hotel is a nice venue.
Lovely venue.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So who organizes the...
Jam runs that.
Okay, Jam organizes the new hotel. Nice, man. I would like to have got Jam on the podcast, but he's apparently a busy guy.
That man.
There's always
Gigging. Flat out.
gigging, doing whatever.
Yeah. And then 30th of May, provisionally, we'll have another one. Look out for our socials.
Yeah.
Unconfirmed yet. And then hopefully one or two more in June before we leave. So everyone watching this has a chance to watch
There's so many shows
one of each
that we're gonna do
before we go to
head out.
Arts Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And so people out there must also support you guys, because I mean, you guys are doing dope things. I just look so from a distance, and I saw your set. I really enjoyed like what you just what you were trying.
Thanks, man.
Maybe it was not to the audience's liking, but I enjoyed it. And I mean, that's what art is supposed to do. For me, it's boring seeing the same old cookie cutter shit. Like, I like it when people try something like a land reform in Stellenbosch. I love it. And Zach, I know you're gonna book a movie soon.
Thanks,
Huh?
Yeah,
You're gonna
man.
be the leading actor in some comedy.
Probably
Do
not blood
that
and
thing.
water, but
Probably not blood and water,
Make your own thing,
but
man.
maybe something else.
Make your own thing. I thought to myself, I tried to get it going. I want to make my own action movie, right? It's an action comedy, like, right? It's called John Wick. Like. So this brasa, they must kidnap my dog, and then I must like fight. And but I know a bitchy fighting, so, and I know a bitchy jiu-jitsu, so then I must like fight and get my dog back. Like. So you got somebody that can write that script for me.
Sure, John Wick. Got it.
John Wick, yeah.
John Wick, yeah.
Yeah, not John Wick.
Yeah.
John the weak one, like, and then obviously I must fight my way back, like.
I'll fire up the old ChatGPT when I get home.
Fire up the
I'll
and
have
then
it for you in the morning.
the in villain is Ngosa. He must be like have that, that thing around his head. John Wick, we finally meet.
I think Ngosa would make a
He
fantastic
would make a
villain.
fantastic
He
villain.
make the best, and he must make his hair blue like he did the last time. Like, and I'm gonna kick his ass.
That's amazing.
So, because me and him actually we're gonna fight one day. Have you heard about that? Like,
No.
I think we need a comedy battle royale.
now we've got serious beef, me and Ngosa. Didn't you know this?
No.
One day we're
100%.
gonna,
I would
we're gonna
love to
bash
watch
each
that.
other. So what happened was like he tried to take my back before. Yeah, he's super. You know what? Yeah, he tried to take me back. I think he actually got my back, like, but yeah. But I was like, whoa, not here.
Not in front of the kids.
Let's run of the comedy community. Let's do this on an open mat or something like that. But anyway, thanks for joining me tonight,
Yeah, man,
guys.
thanks for
Yeah,
having
such a
us,
pleasure.
man.
Thanks
This
for
was so
having
fun.
us.
Good to get to know. I haven't got to sit down with you guys and have a chance to, and we did that for 2 hours. So now we know each other, and yeah, I hope to see you guys do some awesome things.
Thanks, man.
I've seen you perform like a while back. I haven't seen you perform recently. Obviously, like in 2-3 years, you're a different person, like a different comedy set.
Yeah.
Like. So I'd like to see you.
Yeah, man.
You do your stuff. I'm gonna come check out one of your shows soon.
Please
Amazing,
do.
yeah.
One
Give
of
us
each.
Give us a shout and we'll organize some comps.
No. I pay for my comedy shows. I told that to Alfred Adrian as well. I prefer to pay for my comedy shows. There's certain shows I won't pay for, like an open mic.
Yeah.
But when you guys are putting on a show, I would like to pay. And I think that's what people should do.
I won't argue with you.
No, people should, like, you know what I mean? It's easy for me to get comms from you guys, or because you're a comedian, I can get in free, but how easy is it to pay? What is your tickets? 80 rand? 100 rand? What is it?
Yeah, I think it's $100.
$100, that's not bad. You're not charging 150 at like, what's Bafa's gig? What's his like 180?
180.
Yeah.
180 a show. Nah, but Bafa, you got people paying.
He's got them paying, yeah.
So that's dope, man.
Fafa's got a good product. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So thank you for joining me.
Thanks for
Please
having
like, share, subscribe to everybody
all
out
those
there
things.
that's made it throughout
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Like. Peace. We out.
Peace out.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.